we bring you another Bollywood special. This one's with Vaani Kapoor. She's got one of the most underrated journeys in the film industry. In an era where we throw around words like nepotism or favoritism when it comes to the film industry, here's a story of a person who came up the hard way through hard work, through dedication, and through kind of making her own pathway in life. I'm yet to meet an Indian who's not wanted to act at some point in their life. So if you're an aspiring actor, I hope that this particular podcast gives you inspiration. Vaani Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor, and Sanjay Dutt's new movie Shamshera is releasing on the 22nd of July 2022. Go watch it in theaters. But as for now, if you're a podcast listener, make sure you follow us on Spotify. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Here's to a fantastic, authentic, open, genuine conversation with Vaani Kapoor on TRS. Here we go. In the house tonight, on a Saturday evening, we're doing the Vaani Show. Vaani Kapoor.
It's the Ranveer Show. It'll always be the Ranveer Show. I'm just too happy to be here. Like, it doesn't feel like we are doing anything. We are just chilling in your house, and it's beautiful, I must say.
Yeah, this is why I urge people to always do the podcast at home.
Yeah.
Because this room brings out
A certain
secrets.
vibe and energy. Oh, secrets.
No, vibes
Were we
and
going
energy.
for energy
No,
or
vibes and
some-
energy. Vibes and energy.
Yeah. I was just going more positive. But yeah.
How do you feel in this room though?
It's a very cozy, interesting room. In fact, your entire house, I was loving the space and the way you've used that space. I saw a Gratitude a Day book lying on your shelf. A little bit of spying happened here and there. But I'm loving the collection of books that you have here. I'm loving you have a laughing Buddha here. You have such amazing collection of things and artifacts and stuff. It's interesting.
Have you got to where you wished to be?
Not yet.
There's more to go.
There's more. There are many more aspirations and dreams, and yeah.
Like what?
Like, just get better, no? Each day. Like, I haven't reached a place of contentment yet. Have you? Do you feel content 100%?
Genuinely?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
In the last 1 month?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am so happy, dude. Like, I'm really happy that, I want to feel that. Like, I want to feel genuinely like, okay, my personal and my professional life and everything just feels, okay, this is set and I'm home and I've pretty much, but I don't feel that yet. I don't.
I don't know how I feel about feeling that.
Yeah.
And do you know who Luke Coutinho is? He's a holistic lifestyle coach. He's been on the show a lot. He's an iconic kind of sort of life coach for all of India. And he was on the show yesterday and I told him the same thing, that I'm feeling so content, I'm feeling weird about it.
That's so amazing. I'm so envious because I want to feel that feeling. I want to have that feeling of just I'm content. There are days I feel like that, but it comes in spurts. It doesn't stay consistent. So I feel maybe you have to practice it,
After you gained fame in your life, what's the craziest experience you've had? Because I've had like a lot of entourage-y experiences lately and I'm just like, what is happening?
Like what? Cite one.
Entourage, for people who haven't ever watched it, it's about a show where one person
becomes
an actor and he takes his friends with him.
Yeah.
Acting was never on the cards for me, but fame always was.
Yeah.
Like I wanted fame in some capacity and I ended up in a career which actually gave me the fame.
Yeah.
And now I get to take my friends with me.
Wow.
So when we travel, when we have experiences, we're shooting vlogs, it's kind of a version of my life that I manifested from the time I started watching Entourage as a teenager. But for you, what's been that experience where you're just like, wow, is this really my life? It could be anything, meeting someone, doing something.
Yeah, just traveling, no? Like traveling so much. I remember for Befikre, we went to Paris. We stayed in beautiful apartments for almost 3 months. And, everybody had their individual apartments and on a very posh street and, with the best life, and we were being pampered, me and Ranveer were being absolutely spoilt there, going to these stunning restaurants and places, like very the best of the best places, and just the life, living like not as tourists, but as locals in Paris. That only happened because we were part of a certain project. Our film trailer launch was on the top of Eiffel Tower. So we were right there at the top. Doing it with people don't really go there. We shot a sequence on top of the opera house, and again, people are never allowed to do. Nobody has shot there before we did. That's surreal, because you're like, oh my God, these things I never realized could come into reality, and they could become, and they're big for me because I'm like, I'm still that girl, normal, from a middle class family in Delhi, and who's just witnessing things which are beyond the realm of what she could have dreamt of. And things like this. For war, I remember we went to Lake Como and we were staying again in some 7-star property, thanks to my co-actors. Because of them, we get to like stay in such posh places. And I remember once me and Hrithik, we went for some pizza place. Like I treated him. No, did he treat me for pizza? I later treated him for an ice cream.
Does he eat pizza?
That one day when he texted me saying, okay, I'm in a mood to have a cheat day. Let's do pizza. I'm like, okay. And I found that pizza place and we went to this really bad pizza place because I wanted to like strangle my friend who recommended that place because it was so bad. But he was so sweet. We ended up ordering 3 pizzas of different kinds and all 3 were really bad and they sucked. And he still sweetly ate those bad pizzas and so did I, because I didn't know where to look. And
what's it like eating pizzas with Hrithik Roshan?
He's so sweet. He's so kind and he's just, he's somebody who I feel I'm a lot like him.
Okay.
As a person also, and the way I am on set, I do feel like I find some common grounds of course, he is who he is. I'm not trying to compare that, but just the way he processes things and he comes on set, the nervousness or the slight unsurety that he kinds of brings with him. And that's great. That's amazing because, he's always on top of his toes and he's always like, okay, is this the best I could do? Like, could I push it further? Strangely, I also feel that, And even as people, I feel like out of everybody who I've worked with, I have, as a human being, as a person, individual, I do connect more to him.
What have you learned from him?
I feel like I'm very similar to how he is.
What have you learned from him as a professional?
He's all in it. There's no scope of let me be 0.1% be laid back about it. He doesn't take anything casually. He's very dead serious about everything. For him, it's about the best shot or death.
I don't know why this question is popping in mind, but I'm just going to ask you the question. Again, this is because of your observation capabilities. Okay. Why is Ranveer Singh the way he is and why has he found like that kind of success? Like you worked him, so you must have, it's like when you play football with another footballer and you're on the same team. You observe. Yeah, and you get to know them inside out. Yeah. As an artist, you've worked with that artist. What's made him special? Because he's kind of got that place that the Khans occupied in the previous generation now. Mm-hmm. And I put Ranbir Kapoor right next to him there. Yeah. But specifically Ranveer Singh, what's special about that person?
He's very hardworking, very focused. Yes, there are people who work extremely hard in phases. Sometimes you give up because it gets even tougher. And people sometimes give up. He doesn't give up. I think he's very, very, he's like a horse with blinders, knowing exactly where he wants to be. And I also feel like he's somebody who believes in manifestation. His determination has led him to achieve whatever that he has put his eye on.
And energy levels?
Energy levels also. I mean, he's maintaining. And the fact that he always wanted to stand out, I think, and he stands out. He stands out in the crowd because he knew exactly what works in his favor. I think he's a very aware actor. He's very aware as to what works and what doesn't work for him.
Can I say something about you?
Yeah.
Because I've worked with you on one project we've done.
Yes.
I really respect you for your professionalism.
Thank you.
And I respect your entire industry for the discipline it has. But specifically, you have met enough people from your industry to know where people's professionalism stand, and you're right up there. And
Thank you.
I also feel that it's a big reason that you've seen the success that you've seen. Because while you're observing the world, Vaani Kapoor, people are observing you as well.
And I'm observing that bit.
And professionalism is one of those things that will just carry you through in any industry. But in your industry, it is not a norm.
Yeah.
There is some lack of professionalism in some pockets. I never see that with you. Even today, you were like ready on set before I was, and I'm hosting you. But it says something about you, and your team is a manifestation of what you stand for.
Thank you so much. That is thoughtful and sweet, and such a sweet observation.
But do you not know this yourself? Like,
yeah, I like to believe, very early on I learned that before time is on time and on time is late. And late is not acceptable because you need to respect other people's time. It's not, don't take it for granted. No, someday, you hold a position today maybe that you could take it for granted, but there could be a point in life when you can't, when you're not in the same position. Then what? Don't spoil yourself, and don't disrespect anyone.
I have something else to say about you as well. You're a very layered person.
I am.
Like, and then there's definitely a part of you that's deeply hidden. Like, you're not. And I sense that even on the podcast. The thing is,
if you talk to Ranveer, like we were giving interviews, he's like, she's Miss Clutter and she's Miss this and, Butterfingers and all of that. So that's also an aspect to my personality. Okay. I'm just being very poised right now. But guys, that's also a side to my personality. I can be very like my thoughts can really be all over the place and I zone out. I'm a space cadet.
What do you think your flaw is, Vaani?
There's so many. I'm flawed. I am so flawed.
Let's talk about it and let's undo those truths.
But I like my flaws. I've become comfortable with my flaws because they're not harming anyone. My flaws are not that dramatic where it's kind of creating a problem in anyone else's life. Okay. And I accept it, and I like my flaws. I think it's good to have flaws.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You're flawless. That's what
I don't think so.
Why do you not think so, man? Okay, wait. You know what the perspective... Let me give you for lack of a better word, a reality check a little bit, okay? When someone like Vaani Kapoor walks into a room, the whole room stops, stares, observes. That's how the world looks at you.
Who that? Whose room is that? I want to be in that room.
I'm speaking from the shoot we did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And also now, dude, you've reached where you've reached because of being a certain way. And a part of that, along with the professionalism, is also perfectionism, and I think that's where you're finding your flaws.
I think that's why because I'm striving for perfection is why I'm so aware of, okay, but this is not perfect yet and that is not. But along the way, I've adapted.
Speaking about failures, so I'm sure you've experienced something early on in your career. Yeah. Either you had a struggle, you had a failure, and then you bounce back. I'm sure you've also seen lots of people who faded away in Bollywood. They started at the same time as you, but then kind of dropped off.
I feel like we all hit setbacks, no? Like we all witness it in our lives, and for me, I don't think there's any other way. You just gotta bounce back and just don't. You can't give up. Giving up is not an option. I mean, you gotta just bounce back and prove it until you conquer whatever you've set out to.
Why do people stop getting films in Bollywood?
Could be anything, yeah. Could be any XYZ reasons. Could be a lack of interest from probably their end where they're not trying hard enough. Maybe they're not, or they're not getting the right opportunities. Again, opportunities is a big key. And not everybody, there could be a million people far more talented than the ones who are existing in the industry, but perhaps they never got the opportunity.
But what do you do to attract those opportunities in Bollywood? Like, what have you done right before you even got your debut film?
What I did right was I waited for the right film to come along. I've been very patient. And it's not just about my first film. I think it's about my entire career so far. I have been very extremely patient to be able to not miss out on being part of the films that I have been, I genuinely have worked hard, auditioned for, except barring a War and a Shamshera, I've auditioned for every other film that I've been part of. And yeah, you just, for me, I knew exactly what I wanted, or at least exactly what I didn't want. And I waited it out until someone like a YRF. They saw that potential in me and they backed me. So yeah,
You know when you say YRF,
Yeah.
I understand it because I'm in the media industry.
Yash
Most people don't understand the role YRF plays
Yeah.
in Bollywood today, like as a talent management firm of sorts,
Yeah.
as a what
Weren't they the first ones to come up with the whole in-house talent agency?
I believe so.
And then
but
other production houses now also have.
why don't you explain it from your perspective in terms of what does a YRF do for you as an acting professional?
I'll tell you. So, simple girl coming from Delhi. I was a model. You know, my pictures also amongst many other, must be 10 other girls on the list, got selected, shortlisted by Sharno Sharma, who's the casting director for Yash Raj Films. And I was in Bombay for some jewelry brand shoot as a model. And back then I was with Elite Modeling Agency. So she happened to approach the agency, me along with a couple of other girls from the agency. She asked for a meeting. We went to her house and we were all sitting on a she had a lovely sofa and, chairs put up and everything. And we were all there in the room and one by one. And she kept asking in an interview, like, just gauging, a
Personalities.
glimpse of one's personality with conversations. And I remember she asking me something very, some sort of a general knowledge question she had asked me back then. Something had happened in New Zealand or something had happened. And to my fortune, I knew what was happening. I was up to date and I happened to speak to her and she's like, okay, you're smart. And then she's like, okay, can you dance? And I'm like, I don't have professional training, but I can try. And then she put up some couple of songs from Apne Bana Di Jodi and Dhoom and couple of other songs. And I kept dancing for approximately an hour plus. And I'm like, listen, I have a flight back. I can't dance anymore. I have to go. Clearly, I didn't understand what's happening because I'm just dancing and giving a impromptu audition. And then it's not like I had a scene or anything. I had to enact out a scene. So she's like, okay, good enough for the day and everything. Okay, bye. I'm sitting in my flight. I get a call and she's like, listen, can you stay back? I would like to audition you further. And I'm like, yeah. So I never really took it seriously because I'm like, it's Yash Raj Films. They'll go to stars.
Did you get out of the flight?
No.
You stayed in the flight?
I didn't get off the flight. I was in my flight and I remember I think it was a Wednesday or something, Tuesday or Wednesday. And on Friday, the same week, I had a Cosmopolitan shoot. It was my first ever big shoot with a magazine. And I'm like, no, Shano, I can't stay back. And firstly, it's not like, it's a new city for me. And we don't really know each other that well. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And there's no scene that you have. It's not like, it's a quick day's audition you do and you leave back. So she's like, okay, go do your shoot, come back, and then we can audition you further. I still didn't believe her. And I'm like, are you sure? Is this serious? Is this going? I'm not going to play some character artist ka role or anything. I'm looking out to be, the lead. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Firstly, just calm down and we'll send you a flight ticket. Just come. Then she spoke to my parents. My parents they've always been highly overtly protective about us throughout our childhood. So they're like, okay, it's Yash Raj Films, it's reputed and they seem ethically and morally sound. And it's Sharno Sharma. She's kind of comforted my family because, it's a woman casting director and everything's in place. And my elite agency was very thorough professionals. So I'm like, okay, the base is fine. They sent me a ticket. She kind of arranged where I could stay in Bombay. She helped me get a place. Stayed for a month, auditioned a lot. Manish Sharma liked my auditions. And then that's how I got Shuddh Desi. Yeah.
Luck?
So I don't know if
any luck present here?
Maybe, or maybe I manifested it. Maybe while, as a little child, when I used to look at Yash Raj films and Dharma films, and I do remember wanting to be an actor and dancing like those heroines and looking like them and enacting those scenes. I think maybe somewhere it really hit a feeling and kind of sparked, my I think the jet to my on-way journey to the industry.
What's more important for you at this stage? A romantic relationship or your career?
I think there is absolutely, these two things are dissected very systematically in my life. There's a personal life and there's a professional life. And I'm not trying to kind of make one compete with the other.
That's what you're protecting, by the way.
Yeah. So I think I don't want to compete with like, oh, your personal life is... So I feel... I'm actually, you ask me anything about professional life, I'll say it.
So are you dating anybody, Vaani Kapoor? I'm kidding.
That is such a professional question.
I get it. You wanna
I'm single
protect
right
it.
now, just so you know.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy in my company, but I wouldn't mind at this point in life to have somebody who I can connect with. Yeah.
What do you look for in like someone? I know we're going down a personal route, but you don't want to talk about it?
No, I mean, I'm okay to just, I mean, I'm not naming anybody.
No,
so,
no.
But
what do you look for in a partner?
Loyalty is as cliched and mundane as it may sound. It's not very common these days.
Old school. And that's good.
I'm old school.
Yeah?
So loyalty and commitment are two things which are taken very much for granted. I think the concept seems a little old to a lot of people who I meet, like people my age and, you know, just people around me. I don't know if it's the city effect or it's the industry that I'm in or if it's everybody. But so I feel like my parents brought me up for a different era and I'm living in a different
Respect. This is why it's important to talk about aspects of your personality.
Yeah.
You've also earned a lot of respect on the internet for just saying that.
You think?
Because
Okay,
infidelity
I hope so.
and fidelity are very important concepts for millennials and Gen Zs because people have very polarized opinions on it. Some people truly believe in polyamory and that's fine if that's what works for them. I've spoken to neuroscientists and psychologists about this and they said that if you truly internally believe in polyamory, like multiple partners, it actually won't have an effect on your hormones or anything.
Okay.
In saying that, the culture that we live in, which is India, we are about traditions, loyalty.
Yeah. I think it gives me a sense of stability in my life because I feel like I have something to call my own and I have something that I can fall back at, and that's the sense of home and comfort that you get. No, that's what you feel for your parents. No, you can be like, I want 5 multiple parents. One set is good, you know, and they're yours and they're your people, and you know, no matter what happens, you can always fall back at them, you know, and they'll always have your back. They'll always be there for you, no matter how much a world can go against you. You'll have somebody who's yours.
Yeah. Everyone's got that one person where they feel like it was the one that got away, or the most intense relationship, or, you know, the love of your...
Yeah, sometimes you feel you're the heartbreaker. Sometimes someone else is crushing your heart into pieces. Yeah.
Why would someone crush your heart, Vaani Kapoor?
I wonder why.
No, but why do you think?
They're cuckoo in the head.
I mean, no, but seriously, like anyone...
Sometimes some people do it for their selfish reasons because they feel, okay, I've moved on from this chapter of my life and now this feels convenient. It's sometimes about convenience also. You know, people have become a lot, how do I say it? They're very, not cold-hearted, but what's the word for them being, okay, this today works for me and that doesn't. Practical. They're very practical. Sometimes
overly
things
practical.
seem... Yeah, for them, they're thinking, okay, this is at this phase of my life, this is not convenient. So let me not carry forward this. And this seems more convenient. So they play it by their convenience. Yeah.
I respect you opening up so much about your personal life, though I know and I can sense that it's not a comfortable area.
And I'm like, have I spoken too much? Because I'm feeling comfortable. You're making me so comfortable that I'm yapping a lot.
People, you're not yapping. You're just speaking your heart out. That's what this room does, by the way, and this house. But people need to hear perspectives on loyalty and fidelity in a world that's constantly talking about how seductive the other side of relationships are.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I see this.
And while I don't even judge them, I don't judge, to each its own. But I like when there's no hypocrisy, you know, like when they are who they are and there's no two ways about it, you know. And when you come into something with clarity, okay, this is what works for me and this is what I'm looking for. So, you know, okay, are we bonding over the same things? Are we on very two different mental wavelengths? Emotional wavelengths are different. So I like that bit, at least. I respect someone who is real and to your face.
That's your second point. Loyalty and genuinity.
Just be who you are. Yeah, just be real. Just be real. Whoever you are, however you are, just be who you are from day one. Like there shouldn't be a jerk and be like, all this while I thought you're this, and then boom, there's a different discovery. It's very important to meet the right person at the right time. When you don't meet somebody at the right time, that at the right time is so important, which I've learned.
I love Ranbir Kapoor. He's like a man crush. Like,
Oh my God, my co-actors have man crush on him. You have a man. Girls, guys, everybody, aunties, little babies, everybody they all have a man crush on him.
He's too radiant as a guy. Like when you're playing a sport with someone, even if you're against them,
Yeah.
people's real energy really comes on the field. And
Yeah.
real character really comes out on the
Yeah.
field. Very determined. But in his heart, a very gentle person. There's a child alive inside. I feel that about you as well. There's a big like child. There's a little 12-year-old girl very much alive inside you. But is that correct in saying that Ranbir Kapoor, there is this kind of innocence and all in him, which you see in his performances, etc.
Yeah.
He, if he retires tomorrow, he's made that deep and artistic mark in the world of films that people will remember him for generations to come.
100%, I agree with you.
What's he like?
He's real, I think.
Honest?
He's honest. He's real. There's no facade with him. He is who he is. And he's humble about everything. He doesn't take anything for granted. And he's extremely polite. I like his temperament. Like, I admire his temperament.
What is temperament?
Not once will the guy lose his cool on anyone. Be it his team, be it anybody from the, sometimes people get mad at, this one came into my eye line, and they lose the cool because they're like, I'm trying to focus here, and I'm not saying that person's wrong or whatever. That's their temperament and whatever. This guy is just so cool. He's innately cool, I think, and he's cool about things. He's cool-headed. He's very cool-headed, and not too many people are like that. No, not too many people. There are a lot of people who might. There could be a lot of, externally, there could be a lot of modesty and humbleness and sweetness. But when he's, I feel like he's truly humble. He's modest, and he's not egoistic. There's no ego. Yeah. He doesn't come with all that, the
tantrums,
and the hang-ups of being a big star, and I know who I am, and I know what my audience is, and I am the senior one, or I'm this and I'm that. There's no hang-ups per se. He's relaxed. He's easy. You know
what he's like as a footballer?
He's great. I've heard.
Great.
I've heard he's great.
He's deceptively strong.
Wow.
He's a very lean guy, so you wouldn't expect him to be that strong, but he's really strong, fast. And he's a very aggressive footballer, but the aggression switches off if you go and have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
So I was the left back, he was the right winger. So I had to defend him.
Yeah.
I went up to him and I told him that, bro, I love and hate that I have to defend against you. Hate it because you're really good. Love it because I get to know you.
Yeah.
And he just gave me a hug in the middle of the match. And
He's so sweet.
Okay, man crush for life.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, incredible guy, but there is this silent warrior energy inside him. There's a silent samurai energy inside him for sure.
I also feel a part of him is solely to him. He keeps it to himself. He doesn't reveal all of him to the world. That's what I sense. I don't know.
Maybe the best artists need to do that.
Maybe. A little bit you need to conserve and preserve for yourself and not let the entire mystery be taken away.
Yeah. Vaani Kapoor.
Yes.
See, this is what's in your heart, and now I'm going to tell you a little more that I got to know.
Okay.
There's too much love and emotion in your heart, which you said. You said you're an emotional person, but this is the first time I feel like I've gotten to know you properly. Yeah. Even though we've had long conversations.
You're one of the very few people who can say that in the industry, who I've also had interactions with. Just saying.
Okay. I am very appreciative.
You don't have to appreciate it, but I'm just saying. I'm letting you know.
So what inspires you then to keep going? Along with the love, what else is there in the heart?
Love for anything inspires me. Love inspires me. I think love for my work, love for films, love for the kind of things I want to do and achieve. Those things is what I live for.
Like your own, the life you see for yourself.
Yeah, the life I see for myself professionally. People in my life, they inspire me to do better, be better.
I just want to highlight one anecdote.
Yeah.
For every podcast, we research a lot before. There's a lot I know about you that I've, used for the questions.
Yeah.
One of the people who gave me the perspective on you said that they respect you a lot because you've risen beyond what people expected of you. And
who that?
No, it's someone from my team.
Oh, okay.
But it's so true. The there's a lot of professionals out there. I don't know how closely you follow football, but people keep comparing Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
and there are Messis in this world who are just gifted, and then there's some Ronaldos who have to work
there. There.
You, Hrithik Roshan, all of y'all work your asses
Hrithik's
off.
gifted and he works doubly hard. So I think it's just bonanza.
Yeah, but
happening.
that is the purpose of professionalism, especially in any part of the media industry.
Yeah.
It's why you should be taking your work that seriously. As an artist, you've been given a gift. It could be the way you look, the way you act, the way you speak, the way you write. But when you're in that professional environment, you have to give your 500% to it.
Absolutely. I don't know any other way. Maybe someday I'll be so confident, which is also scary to think because I like my shakiness. I feel it keeps me grounded. It keeps me more charged and active. And, I always have curiosity to be like, okay, are there other ways to better it? I feel like the day I become too comfortable, that's the end of me discovering anything new. That's scary.
No, I mean, dude, you're doing fine. You're doing incredible.
I'm learning as we grow.
We only hear, this I'm telling you as a colleague in the industry, like we only hear great things about you.
Thank you.
There's a lot to admire about you that the world will gradually discover as you keep accomplishing things in your own life and career.
Fingers crossed, touch wood.
No, you're incredible and I can say so much to you about you. But
this was a lot of fun actually.
Yeah, what do you find fun about?
I could do this like sitting in my night suit also and just be like, like with my feet folded up and be like, aur batao.
Yeah, that's why I want people to come home and speak to me. This house will add an energy
it's
to
a comfort
these
energy, comfort space, for sure.
No, but the professional and the emotional 12-year-old inside, I'm glad that they both enjoyed this experience, Vaani
Someday
Kapoor.
I shall show you the sloppy side of mine.
What have you observed about me? That's the final question to you.
I think that you also suss people very correctly. You also gauge what they are comfortable and how they, what they want to open about and what they don't. You also understand, you have a good understanding of people. You try your best to make things as positive and as real and as, even when you're talking to me right now, you made it so comfortable for me to open up. Someone who's a bit protective and guarded of her life. I feel like that beauty, that art, not everybody has. So what you're doing right now, if somebody else was doing in your place, perhaps might not have had the same conversation. Perhaps this conversation would have been an entirely different. It would have gone in a completely different way. So you bring out the things that people are keeping to themselves. You're very good with, making someone feel at home.
The brutal truth is we also reject a lot of potential guests. The moment we heard your name, we were like, yes, Vaani Kapoor is going to be on the show because I feel you have a lot to say.
I'm grateful. Yes.
To be completely honest.
I have a lot to say about, yeah?
No, you have a lot to say about, there's a lot more for you to open up about on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say I suck at social media.
No.
But I do. I think my digital team is not the happiest with me.
No, you're great. But generally, I feel like you've come up the hard way. You've come up the right way.
Yeah.
You're not a product of privilege, and people know that about you. There's going to be stories and perspectives from you that people will get to know over time. And that's what I'm also looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to another podcast of ours someday.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
Yeah. It was very nice talking to you. And
Same.
often after conversations, I gauge my own energy levels. Has it dropped? Is it higher? If it's higher, it means I'll do the podcast again.
Yay!
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Only respect and all best wishes and vibes to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was great.
That was the episode for today. What I appreciate about Mumbai conversations just like this is that you get to meet hardworking artists. People who have the inner child alive. That's the definition of an artist for me. Along with that hardworking element. While all of us are artists in our own ways, not every artist thinks from a commercial perspective. Not every artist is ready to put in the hours, is ready to work with discipline. And that's what I respect about people like Vaani Kapoor. A blast speaking with this power woman. And for more fantastic, inspirational conversations like this, Make sure you follow TRS on Spotify. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. This was VK on TRS. Make sure you subscribe to our Clips channel as well, where the highlights of every episode are uploaded at the same time that the podcast is uploaded. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. We will be back with TRS very, very soon.